Yeah. So, as we spoke yesterday and before yesterday, so we said that there is two things that we want to have by the 29 in the evening. We want the moon should be as far away from the sun as possible. In other words, when the further away the moon is from the sun, it's going to be easier to see. And also another thing, which is almost correspondent to it, that we want to be, the moon should be above, the longer the moon is above the horizon after the sun goes down, sets, is also better because it's going to be darker, it's going to be easier to see the moon. Okay? So, and we said also, let's say there is 10 degrees over here between the moon and the sun. So the sun is by the Shkia, and then we have 10 more degrees for the moon to go down. And we made a cheshbon calculation that it takes each mile 4 minutes for each mile to go down for the Galgal HaYomi, and the moon and the sun are now traveling with the Galgal HaYomi. So the speed of the Galgal HaYomi will be the speed of the distance between the sun and the moon, will also go the same time down. So in other words, you take 4 minutes for each mile. So if you have 10 miles over here, so the sun will go down, and 40 minutes later will go down the moon. But we mentioned that it's not going to be, first of all, it's not going to be always 4 minutes. It can take more than 40 minutes in these 10 miles, or it can take less than 10. So the Rambam right now, we are holding Perek Zayin. So we know already where is Geirach Hamiti, where is Shemesh Hamiti, Cham Hamitis, and now we have to find out how long we have to calculate in each muzzle, this muzzle, each muzzle will be different cheshbenes to know how long it'll be how long the moon will go down after the sun. That concept of the moon going, how long the moon will go after the sun, it's called Keshes Oriyah. Keshes Oriyah means how long will it take for the moon to go down after the sun? Okay. Okay. Now, all the cheshbenes that we made now, all the angles, all the degrees are if somebody would have been in the center of the globe. So if he would be in the center of the globe and he would see everything with the moon, the sun, so for the Galgal Amazolis, so all the calculations are for somebody who is inside the globe, inside the middle of the globe. Now, but Pe'er Mamesh, where is the person standing? Where is he looking for?
On the earth. On the earth.
On the earth. On top. He's standing on top. He's not standing inside. So Bahim changes. We'll soon show how it will change. It changes now. So the Rambam, but before that, Rambam says something else. I have to look.
So with the calculations about the absolute center of...
Yeah. But before that, the Rambam says something else. The Rambam says that the Rambam gives us two sets of distances in order to, when we can see the moon. So he says the first set is that from 9 degrees to over 9 till 15. So he says that if from over 9, this distance, if from over 9 till 15 miles, between 9 and 15, then it's possible to see it, but we're still going to have to make calculations if you're going to see it or not. Not always. So we have to make calculations if it's going to be possible to sit. So Bezner sitting and making calculations. Now, below 9, if it's less than 9, Bezdin even doesn't see it, because for sure not going to be to see it. And
the reason is because
it's too close. And if it's over 15, then for sure you can see it. So Bezdin again doesn't have to make calculations because Bezdin knows already.
Right.
Whatever happens, somebody can see it.
Between 9 and 15 is the question.
Right, these are calculations.
Yeah.
Oh, which, so the Rambam, so the Rambam says, when I'm talking about that between 9 and 15 we need calculations, so he said it's between, if the moon and the sun are going to be between the middle of the winter and the middle till the middle of the summer. What's unique about this mazoles? Because this mazoles, like you see over here, who is more tzofim, who is more north? This is north, this is south.
The moon.
The moon is more north.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make a difference. The whole 180 degrees will be the same thing.
Always the same thing.
Always the same thing.
South to north.
It's moving from south to north, and when the moon is ahead, the mele is always the moon will be always more to north.
Yeah.
So what happens when the moon is more to north? Like you see the red,
Right.
and we are talking about Israel,
Yeah.
which is in the north, and the horizon of Israel goes slanted,
Right.
like you see over here. So the mele, the sun, let's say, goes over here, down, and the moon will go down more north, so it has more time to be on the horizon.
The longer is an angle.
It's a longer, it's a longer time to see it.
Right, because it hits the horizon is lower.
Right, where it hits the horizon.
Because it's ahead, so that it's turning, so it reaches the horizon later.
Right. In other words, it's later than regular 10 degrees.
From the point of view when it's shown.
No. But what I mean is, it's longer than regular 10 degrees. 10 degrees would have been if like this.
Yeah.
Right? Now it's 10 degrees, straight down 10 degrees. But because they're both set on the same spot by the horizon. But because the moon is more north, so now it's setting in a place, so it's going to be like more than 10 degrees time.
Depends on the angle.
We will learn everything.
Dat zit in Biblische tijdmeesters.
Huh?
Biblische Emil, dat zit die zorgmeesters.
Yeah. Going what the mazoles are going north.
Hij loopt in Biblische tijdmeesters.
Yeah, so you see, no? That's this over here.
Ja, bestemmen.
Bis Tohimim. Bis Tohimim is over here, till the end of Tohimim.
Die staan er.
Okay? And you see the opposite will be from the summer till the middle of the winter. Now, who is more south? The moon. So because the moon is more south, it will set where the horizon is higher, closer to higher up in this.
So we won't see it.
So you will set much faster. Much faster. It will set in less than 40 minutes. Right. So that's why the Rambam said, if we calculate for the mazoles from the middle of the winter till the middle of the summer, then first of all, a little over 9 degrees is enough. Is in other words enough to make calculations. And over 15 for sure we will see it, because we have a big plus over here. Because the plus is that the moon will be more in the north, and that's why we'll be able to, more likely we'll be able to see it. Now, what's about when the moon and the sun are in the mazoles that are going from north to south? So over there it says, you need, first of all, the minimum you need 10, right? 10? More than 10, over 10, and the maximum is 24. In other words, from 10 to 24, we have to make calculations. It's not sure. Even 24, we are not sure we're going to be able to see the moon. Even there's such a big distance and such a big moon. The unfortunate are all, I mean, some of them are saying that too much, 24. But other Rambam is writing. Okay? So, yeah, so that's that's actually not explanations, that's statements. The Rambam gives a statement that if this set of mazolas you need from 10 to 24, and this one is from 9 to 15. Now we will go back to what I started to explain, that the people who see the moon don't see it from the middle of the earth, but they see it from outside. You can see. I'll try to explain a little bit without the picture, and then we'll go to the picture. Now, if you have, no, it's not going to work. I'll take the picture. Okay. No, yeah. Thank you. From Mem Dalet.
Wow, the same paper?
The same paper.
Good, man.
I used to go, I went to work, I came back from work from the truck, and I made a picture, and I ran to 770 to show it. Every day I made a picture that responds to that. Okay.
And no change to the moon and the sun and that.
No, the Rambam says they go the same speed every day. Nothing changes. Okay, somebody give me a hand a minute. All this, okay, where's the tape? Okay, thank you. Okay. Here you have the mazolas, yeah? You got a couple of mazolas. Here you have Kadur Haaretz, the globe. Now you have, that's the center of the globe, and that you have the person is standing actually watching the moon and the sun. So let's see the difference between if you stand over here or if you stand over here. The sun is over here, right? The sun is setting, and that's the moon on the horizon. Now, when you stand from here, so what do you see? You see a half a moon always, right? You can see a half a moon. Now, this side of the moon is obviously dark because there is no light. Now, but the light from the light from the sun is on the green. I don't know if you can see the green and the blue.
Yeah.
So this whole section, the person who would be standing over here would see a big moon. All right. Now, if you stand over here, so the angle becomes
More even,
right? So the mele, so you see only the green part of the moon. You can't see the blue.
Right.
So you see a smaller moon first of all. Yeah. And also, look, when you look over here, when you look from here, so it's like the moon is over here in the Kaaba Mazaras. When you look from here, it's like lower, much lower, because which are higher. So you make the angle, instead of like this, you make the angle straighter. The more the angle is, the more they are even, the less light. Right. And we want more light. So the Rambam says, because that's called, the Rambam calls it Shinu Mare. Shinu Mare. I say Shinu Mare.
Change in the view.
In the view. Because when what you see over here is not what you would have been able to see from here. And we see over here that the Shinu Mare, the change of the view makes only by the Melet, around right after the Melet, it makes the moon smaller and closer to the sun, like. So in other words, if we had 10 degrees, could be 10, 15, whatever we had, but 29 at night, so the Rambam said, oh, you had like a 10 degrees, but for our calculations now, because you're losing that little light of the moon, so make, instead of 10, make it now like you have only 9. And that's how Rambam is going to play with the miles. Each time it takes longer to see. I mean, each time you'll be able to longer to see. He said, add a mile. If you see it, if you will be for some reason see it less in the sky, so deduct.
Ich habe gesagt, der Rambam sagt nicht, das genug in der Forschung, weil Rambam kennt klar, dass der Schiene Mare ist und Karte bis nach da. Ich verstehe Rambam.
Er sagt das nicht, nein? Okay. Everything I say is 90% is not, 99% is not from what the Rambam writes. Okay? But it makes sense, yeah? Okay, that's the main thing.
Makes sense, it's true.
Okay, so now.
It makes sense, but the whole idea is that we see it. It's not that it is.
Exactly, exactly what you're saying. But the angle actually becomes
Real.
real. The angle is a different angle.
It's not real according to the concept.
No, it's not real for here.
Yeah.
But for here, it's real.
Das ist Schiene Mare Rechem, Schiene Mare.
No, that's Oirech. That's called Shin. I have to show it on this one now. Okay, so take one more look. Did you see what's happening? No, it's beweis. Okay, so you
just explain that green.
Okay, so when you look from the center of the earth, right, and you see half a moon. So you see all this you can see, right? All this facing you, actually, facing you. But where is the light? The light will be only the green and the blue.
The light?
The light from the sun. The light, you see the sun is shining? So it's shining till the end of the green. You see the green over here? And the blue.
Right.
So when you look from here, so you see both of them. You see that's in your view from here. So you see the big chunk of the moon, the lit big chunk of the moon from the light, the green and the blue. So now that is if you would be standing over here, but we are standing on top of the globe. So now when you start on the globe, so you lose that blue now. You can't see the blue because you see the two green lines finished by the green, by the end of the green. So you see a smaller moon.
Yellow and green.
It's schwer zu sehen, yeah, okay. 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 Meir, בסדר? Okay. Okay, now let's see it over here. Where do we live? Yeah, but where? In the north, right? So now, when you look from Yerushalayim, right? So you see the moon. Over here is the same height, but you know the moon is much more inside, closer. So in other words, you see an angle, right? You see to the sun and the moon. So you look up to the moon and down to the sun. But if you would be higher, so it's like you look straight down on both of them, both become on the same line. So when it's in the same line, in other words, you push, when you look from there, you push the moon down the Kav HaMazoles. Because we always push it in the direction where you look. So when you look at the moon, you push it down, and where is it coming down? I'll soon show on the contrast. But right now it's on the mazoles. Now what happened over here, right? What happens now? When you look from Yerushalayim, you look at the moon, where are you pushing the moon? This way. Out. You're not pushing it down the mazoles, and that's called roichav. Because you push it north or south, so that's called oirech means down the mazoles, on the line of the mazoles, which is only you see this mazoles. The mazoles are going from actually from the south to the north.
That's because you're in Israel.
Yeah.
Only if you're on the other side, it would be the opposite.
Exactly. If we're in Australia, it would be the opposite.
Yeah.
But because we are in New York, we are the same like Israel, so that would be the effect. So now, the Rambam says, so we have two shinui mare. One shinui mare is like I showed you. Okay, we'll start with this one. One shinui mare goes roichav, makes it more. Here it's more to the south, pushing it, and the other one is when it's over here, then it's shinui mare more oirech. But actually, the Rambam says that each shinui mare has oirech and length and width, length and width.
So it's going to be further away. It's going to look like it's further away, but really it's much closer. That's what happens in the winter, right? That's what I'm saying.
Say again.
It's going to look.
On which one?
It's going to look like they're closer.
Yeah, so you're losing.
But it's not true. They're not closer.
No, they're not closer. For sure, not closer.
They're not closer.
Yeah, but our all calculations is in mind if we can see or not see.
Right.
So the Rambam puts everything. He puts it in mazoles. It's not looking on time, but actually, it's like we know already. When you say you add 1 mile, so we know already you means you add 4 minutes.
Right.
And you take off for a mile. That means it means to tell you you're going to lose 4 minutes to see it, so it's going to be harder to see it. Okay. So we have the shinu oirech, and the shinu oirech is the Rambam gives you each mazel. The Rambam writes each mazel how much will be the difference from you look or from the look from inside the globe, and in oirech in the lens. And the same thing he'll tell you you can see the one who has oirech, so he has very little roichav because mostly on the mazel, but they all have oirech and roichav every mazel. But it depends which one is more. Okay, that's good. What goes next? Nachman. And ELIEZER Margol is okay? ELIEZER Margol. Huh? Oh, that's shaded. So the Rambam, yeah, okay, right. So the Rambam says, yeah. So the Rambam says that right in Perek Yud Zayin, like we said before, the first thing when you're going to Perek Yud Zayin, you have to have ready how far is the moon, basically, how far is the moon from the sun, and in Amiti, not in Emtsoi. And that we already calculated in Perek Yud Beis Yud Gimel, we found out in the Amiti from the Shemesh. In Perek Yud Dalet, it has Vov, we found the Amiti from the Yoreach. And also we have to remember Perek Tezayin, which talks about the Rosh Hashanah, how wide is the moon. In other words, how far is it from the Kaaba Mazoles south or north? And that's very important, like we said, which the more the Yoreach is softened, the more it has more tzfoini, it will be easier to see because the shkia will be in a lower place, and that doesn't make a difference where is the right now. It doesn't make a difference in which mazel we are talking. Always tzfoini is good for us. It can be in the winter or in the summer or in Tishrei. Always if it's funny, it's better. It's easier to see. Okay. So now when we came into Perek Yud Zayin with the knowledge how far the moon from the sun, so that the Rambam calls Eure Rishon. Eure Rishon, the first stage of length. After we made Shinu Mare, the different how we see it. Yeah. So after we find out the Shinu Mare, the different how we see it from inside or the outside, and we deducted from the Eure Rishon, so we get the Eure Sheni. Okay?
That's already different by all. So that's different by all.
Yeah, but the Rambam tells you each mazel how much you have to add, to take off. Okay? Now it starts a little bit much more. I say a little bit and much more, but it's not really hard to understand, but it's very actually it's very visual that you can see why the Rambam says it does what it does. Okay.
Who is Michael Yelech?
No, this is Michael.
Michael Yelech, yeah?
Yeah. Now, the sun, right? The sun goes away from the Kava Mashve. How many miles? 23 and a half. How do you calculate how far is it from the, in other words, you say from here to here, 23 miles. So what means from here to here? This is an angle, right? We make that a straight line over here, and then you go out with the angle, and we would go like till here to 90, and this is by 23 and a half, you'll meet this place, right? So now, so you make a right angle, right? Called a 90-degree angle, it's a right angle. Now, the moon is going, let's say the moon will go also in the same, the moon goes off 5 degrees, right? 5 degrees. So let's say, but the moon, we said, has a Rosh Hashanah. What means Rosh? Rosh is where it starts to go to the north. So here it's, let's say here, starts there where it goes, here will be the Rosh, where it starts going over to the north, and 180 degrees later will be the Zonov. So the sun, the moon starts to go off from here and goes till here will be how many degrees? 5 degrees, and then we'll come back to finish the under 90 degrees, yeah? Now, when the moon is over here 5 degrees, so what do we have to do again? We have to take a 90-degree angle from the Mazoles, from this line, to go to get the moon. So that means it's 5 straight, and that's 5 degrees away from the, so we always, when we measure the moon from the Mazoles, we go out from the Mazoles in a 90-degree angle to meet the moon, right? Now let's see if we play with that 90-degree angle, what will happen? Here we go 90-degree angle, so it's the 90-degree angle from here and from here. If you make a line from here, go here and come over here, right? So it's 90 degree for the equator and the 90-degree angle also for the Mazoles, right? Because here they are like go parallel. This piece is like parallel to this piece, to this mile of the Mazoles. What happened over here, let's say, right? The moon is over here, right? 5 degrees away. Now, when you go 90 degree, when you go 90 degree, a 90 degree angle from here, so where are you going? Are you going straight or are you going down a little? Look good. from here, you always go straight, the 90-degree angle. But here, because the Kav HaMazoles is not parallel to the equator, it's tilted. And the more it tilted, the more the 90-degree angle will be tilted also. So here the 90-degree angle will actually push the moon. Here is Myra. It will push the moon to the horizon. Don't get scared. Slowly.
Why is that? Because it's only from a visual point of view.
No, that's not a visual. That's not a visual. That's pale mamish. When we say that the moon is 5 degrees away from the sun, right? Let's say in this side. It doesn't make a difference which side. Let's say in this side. The moon is 5 degrees away from the Kav HaMazoles. So how do we measure the 5 degrees? We're going from here 5 degrees. So how are you going to go? You're going to go this way? You're going to go this way? How are you going to go? How are you going to go to the 5 degrees? You go a 90-degree angle from the Kav HaMazoles.
Right.
Okay. So that 90-degree angle, is it going from pole to pole like? No, it's going here. It's going down. And because it's going down, that is not good for us. Because we want it to be a high. So we are losing time of seeing the moon. So look again. That's if it would be. Oh, wait. Don't go in how much. Just get the idea that we are losing.
We will. It has to be 90 degrees. So it's straight from the thing, or the T.
Right.
Straight from the T.
Right.
So if you project that T to go down, to go out, it's going to automatically go down because that's in an angle.
Right.
Okay.
So we know one thing. Look, we know, let's say, that the moon is in 210 degrees, right? The end of Tishrei.
Right.
So if the moon would have been over here, so no, you don't need calculations. You know the moon is over here. So on the line, that's it. But now let's say we know that the moon is 210, but it has a roichav of 5 miles. It has a width of 5 degrees. So where are we going to put the moon now? We're not going to put it straight out because it has to be 90 degrees from the Mazoles. So it's going to be down, not over here. Now it's going to be a little more down. So when it's down over here, so look, we already pushed it to the Shkia more.
So wouldn't it be equivalent to it's the exact same angle, the difference between the Mazoles to the equator? No, it's the opposite side of that. And if it's 5 points, so you use the same measurement from the 5 points.
I don't understand what you're saying. Tell me again. Yeah, but that's, I'm going to. Yeah. Okay. So when you. Okay. So when you say that there is a roichav,
right?
That's the roichav gate from the Mazoles.
Yeah. It's the question of black
No, you have to have an absolute position.
Why? So it's always wherever you put it. It's only 5 degrees over here, 5 degrees over here. But anyway, it's far away.
So let me explain. Let me explain. Let me explain. Wait. Let me explain. Very, very simple. We say, let's say it started to wear off from here, right? It started to wear off from here, and it will go 5 miles. And then it will end back over here. Now, think a minute. Where will be, and we're going, so now, the 5 miles, how far will it be from the beginning?
Very little.
Very little. And more and more and more.
Exaggeration.
Wait. And how many miles does it go from here to the other side? 180 miles, yeah? Where will be the point that it say
90.
that it's 5 miles? 90. Why?
Because it's exaggerated.
Remember now. So but over here, if it's 5 degrees, if 5 degrees, it will be over here, right? Which line is this? Exactly, you'll be over here? What means over here? In other words, a straight line from the mazoles. Forget about this. We don't recognize right now this. All we recognize is the mazoles. Huh?
It's not equating with the mazoles.
The mazol. We recognize only the mazoles, and it's a 90 degree from the mazoles. No, but only over here. Because we know for sure the moon is over here. We know for sure now.
Okay.
Now, if you, after 30 degrees, so let's say, okay, very good. The moon is over here, right? After 30 degrees, the moon will go 30 degrees. Where do you think it will end up? Over here or over here? You understand?
Lower, it's gonna be lower.
Lower, it's not going to be over here. It's going to be over here.
Shorter.
Right, because from here to here is like from here to here. It's not till here. It's more than 30 degrees. And we need to correspond
Because he's moving.
to the mazoles.
Because he's moving, it's not only, I'm saying he's moving, now he's not just moving forward or whatever, and the movement is also moving sideways. So if you're moving 5 steps forward, but now you're also moving sideways, you can have more steps.
Right, you're going to lose a
So
little.
even if you have more steps, you have bigger steps. You're gonna get to a lesser place because you're doing two movements at once.
Okay?
It doesn't make like yeah, it does.
Das meint in der Eliezer Michael. What means, again, what means in Eliezer Michael? We know that that when it has,
Okay, good.
when we know that when you have roichav, we're soon going to calculate how much does the roichav give you. But when you have, when the moon is more to Doren, when the moon is more to Doren, so it will lose a certain amount because the line over here, the red line, you see, is higher, so going to be closer to the shkia. So besides that, if the moon would have a roichav droimi, so it will be a double loser. First of all, we're pushing down the moon, and second of all, Dorem is closer, the shkia is higher, the horizon line. Now, what's happening if the moon will be in Soften, right? So now we have a double winner. First of all, the moon will be more Soften, so it will hit the red line in a place where the red line is lower, so we have more time for the sun to be on the sky. And also, because when you make the mazoles a 90-degree angle, so you're pushing it up, like you're like pushed it down over here. So in Soften, the opposite, you push it up now. So you gain more time for the sun, for the moon to be on the horizon. So let's look. The mazoles from middle the winter to middle the summer, right? So it's always going to be when if it's a roichav droimi, so we gain because the angle goes up, all 180 degrees almost. And when it's this mazoles, the mazoles that go from the summer to the winter will be the opposite. Over here will be tzfoini. Yeah, what goes, if it's tzfoini, okay. So the mazoles that go from the middle summer to middle winter, in other words, the mazoles that go from Soften to Dorem. So if it's going to be a roichav tzfoini, so we gain. Because the angle of the roichav goes up, and the roichav droimi will be a loser because it's pushing down to the shkia. That's from the mazoles that go from Soften to Dorem. what with the mazoros go from Dorem to Tzofen over here? So over here the opposite. The mazoros, the Roichav Droimi is pushing up the moon now. So we win. Right? It's going up. Even though when it's in the Dorem side, we are losing because the Shkia is in a higher place, but we're gaining, this point we're gaining. And the same thing is over here. But if it's Roichav Sfoini, so we have now contradiction. Because of the angle, we were losing. But because it's over to Tzofen, we are gaining, because still the Shkia will be lower over there. So we take each calculation by itself, for itself, and we add. Okay, very good, very good. So that. And the Rambam also tells us, very, very interesting. The Rambam says that the most where you have to fix, you see, when you have in straight lines, a straight surface, so when you make an angle, you make let's say a 5-degree angle, right? So you have a straight line and you go with a 5-degree angle. So the more you go away from the center. You keep on going other inside. Bagalgal, it's not like this. Bagalgal, when you go make a 5-degree angle, you will come after 90 degrees, you'll come to the max, and from 90 degrees, it'll start to come back, like the mazolas, yeah? The mazolas are what degree angle? 23-degree angle, yeah? So it goes till 90, that's full angle of 23. What happens now? It starts to go back. Okay? So what I want to say? So the real angle is in the beginning, and from here it starts to lose the 23-degree angle till when it comes over here. So it's almost not an angle at all, because this line is almost parallel to the equator. It's not going sideways, it's almost going straight. And here it starts to crook it a little, going tilt.
Where are you measuring the angle? From the center?
No, here you have an angle, right? You have the equator.
When you say 23 degrees.
All right, so you have a line of, if you would, okay, look.
23 from here?
Yeah, this and this. This makes an angle of 23 degrees.
It's more as it goes on.
Yeah, till
90.
Till 90. What happens by 90?
Huh?
What happens by 90?
That's going back.
Oh,
70, okay.
so now you understand yourself that if it straightens out, in other words, it goes out with a full swing angle, and then slowly it loses that angle, because it doesn't all of a sudden become straight. It loses every second. It loses. So the main angle of 23 will be in the beginning, here or here. What?
90 is biggest.
No, but 90, I'm talking about the line. How is the line in comparison to the Kava Mashve, right? So the most crooked actually is over here. That's the most crooked, because over here, the line starts to lose that crooked until it comes over to, look, I mean, I don't have to explain too much. This line is the same like over here, or here it's going straight. It's going straight, like almost parallel to Kava Mashve. So where is the angle over here? There's no angle over here, right?
It's the angle of travel.
Huh?
It's the angle you're traveling. In other words, in the very beginning, you're going to shoot out to 23 degrees, but then you're going to straighten out, and you go minus 23 degrees.
Yeah. Okay, so the Rambam says, when the Rambam gives us so the Rambam says, okay, I'll give you for each couple miles, what do you have to fix with that, because the right angle doesn't go straight out of the Kava Mashve. So sometimes you have to add.
From the center of here?
Huh?
The right angle from where?
No, I said from the equator.
Okay.
Yeah, everything from the equator. So the Rambam says, when you go 10 miles over here, right? In other words, 10 miles in Now let's go over here better. 10 miles in Tle, 10 miles in Tle. So now, when in 10 miles in Tle, and you have a Roichav over there, a Roichav either down, either Tzofim, which is down, or Doram, which is up. So the Rambam said how much you have to add to that Roichav, and how much you have to deduct for that Roichav, for the Tzofim Roichav. Right? Because when it goes, when the moon is more Dorem, or from Roichav Droimi, and it's in this 10 miles in beginning of Tle, so the Roichav Droimi is a winner. A winner. It's a good one. Because that Roichav pushes up the moon higher in the sky. But over here will be a loser because it's pushing down to the horizon. So the Rambam will give us, I think, every 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and it's less different till it comes over here. And over here, the Rambam says, you don't have to fix it. Because over here, actually, the Roichav goes straight out here and straight out here. It doesn't go down or up. Because here, it's parallel to the equator. And the same thing is the opposite over here. Over here. It's also a straight line. ELIEZER Samaigel. It's because the Levana gate is not together with, it's not under the Mazoles, but it's weird. I think ELIEZER means it moves over, goes to the side and Netia. So because of that Netia, it's a whole.
When you add, what do you get? What do you add to what? In order to
because we don't forget one thing. We said already in the beginning we add Oire Rishon. Oire Rishon means how far is actually the moon from the sun, right? After we have that actual how far the moon from the sun, now we want to know how long it will take for the moon to go down after the sun, which is called Keshes Hariyah. And we're always going to add to that distance if it's over here, let's say, right? If the moon, where is it? Here. If the moon, let's say it's over here, goes up, right? The moon goes up, and we had before 10 miles between the moon and the sun. So we're going to say now, oh, wait, it's going up? Give it another mile. So now it's 11 miles. Because that will correspond how long the moon will go down after the sun. And if it's this side, so now it's going down, okay, we'll take off 10, one from the 10. And over here, the Rambam said, like we said before, you don't have to, over here, you don't have to add or deduct, leave it the way it is. What means leave it the way it is? So leave it the way it is means when you have a Roichav over here, Droimi, so it's a loser, right? Because it's closer to, but it's only one loser, it's not double. If it's Tzofim, so it's a winner. Because that the 5 miles, which is more to Tzofim, will give you more time for the moon to go down after the sun. So that's called ELIEZER Samaigel. Now we're going to go to, it's called Mitzadei Amazoles. What means Mitzadei Amazoles? We have 12 mazoles. We have 12 mazoles. Each mazel, actually, this, each country is different, will be different. Even in the people who live in Ecuador, so the mazoles, Mitzadei Amazoles meant how long does it take for each mazel from the beginning to the end to set, to go down under the shkia. Let's say over here. You have mazel maznaim, yeah? Let's say somebody lives in the equator, right? Somebody lives in Kuwait, so now this point of the mazel is by the shkia, by the black line. So how long will it take from this black line to the end of the mazel to shekeah? Don't fall asleep on me. Okay? Mitzadei Amazoles. In other words, the gang from the Mazoles. So each mazel takes a different, if you have 30 degrees, 30 miles, right, the mazel. Now we said each mazel is?
30.
No, for each mazel, I mean each mile is 4 minutes. So how long will it take for the whole mazel? 4 times 30, 120, so 2 hours, right? So in other words, for the mazel maznaim, for somebody who lives on the Kav Mashve, so when he looks, let's say he can see the mazel, right? So he sits over here, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and then till the whole mazel is going down. So we said it's how many miles? 30 miles, and it should have taken 2 hours. Will it take 2 hours?
From the shkia.
Right. Will it take 2 hours?
And will it take 2 hours?
Huh?
He said, will it take 2 hours?
Will it take 2 hours? The question is, if it would take, huh?
Depends when. Depends on how.
That's where the Levana is.
Don't forget about the Levone. No Levone, no son. I'm talking about only this group that the mazel from Moznaim. It'll take 2 hours. Yeah? But let's take a look good and we'll see what happens. Who says? Oh, good. Why less? Good. Beautiful. Because give a cook. 30 degrees would have been if the 30 degrees goes down till here. But because
the same problem that you had before, the same issue.
yeah, everything is. So now because the muzzle goes slanted, let's say it would have gone 30 degrees like this. Then you see that's not the real 30. Here 30 degrees of the 4 minutes is only over here in the middle.
The only time this time is 4 minutes because of the Gagla.
Right, and
if without the Gagla, you don't know 4 minutes, you don't know 3 minutes, you don't know 10 minutes. It's just points.
So what do you want to say? Right?
The only I'm saying is because the Gagla is stuck in the equator, so from that place, it has to be according to the minute you move, it's another place, it's another calculation, it's not 4 minutes anymore.
Yeah, but you have to, I know, but you have to explain it. You have to say.
No, because the minute how do you measure? Why is it 4 minutes? Because in the 24 hours, the giant distance takes 4 minutes.
מאיר, אני לא יכול לצאת, תן לי את זה רגע.
So the minute you're going in a different place and not on the Garla Yemi, not in the center of the Garla Yemi, then why count minutes? I mean minutes, it's shorter.
Here you see very clear. You see what's happening over here? Let's say from here till here, let's say, is 30 degrees, right? And now the Galgaliyemi goes down, right? So from here till here will take 2 hours. Now the whole Galgal is turning. So this 30 degrees actually means like this, right? So all this is 30 degrees, this is 30 degrees, this is 30 degrees, it's all 30 degrees. Here will be smaller, but yeah. Now if that 30 degrees like the tle goes sideways, so 30 degrees will finish over here. It's not going to finish over here. So when it goes down, so before it gets to the 2 hours, it's already in the shkia. it's going down the shkia, right? And here is 30 degrees, so this 30 degrees will go down before this 30 degrees. And the 4 minutes per mile is only over here in the middle.
But that's more, the other place is more than 30.
Right?
That's more than 30.
I said, let's say it's 30. Yeah, but it doesn't make a difference if it's more or not, but it is, yeah.
No, but the other line that you made.
No, but this line from here to here, is this length the same length like from here to here?
It's bigger.
What's bigger? You think it's in your eyes maybe.
From here to here is less than from here to here.
No, but I'm talking to here.
Uh-huh.
From here to here is 30, and from here to here is 30.
Right.
Okay? So when it's shakea, when it sets, so which one will go down first? You see? This point will go down first. And then will come down this line. So in other words, if you have Mosnaim will set much faster because why? Again, because it's cooker. And what's with tle? Come here. What with tle? How fast will tle shake out? Huh?
If you look at the quarters, it's the same fast.
Like what?
Like the 9.
Very good. Wait, come. Wir können nicht damit reden. And if you will have your Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah, then it wasn't faster. No,
Wait.
Yeah, wait. Then the one is yeah, it wasn't faster. It ain't slow because it's more straight compared to Eretz Yisrael.
Say more words. Very good, but say more words.
It's more because here it's gonna because the plate is lower on this side.
All right. So what will happen?
So what's gonna happen? It's gonna take longer.
Very good. What's your name?
Asher,
Asher what?
Shirkin.
Oh, Shifrin. Shifrin. Okay, very good. Where's your brother?
What?
Your brother was here yesterday. Very good. Do you understand what he said? He says like this. He says when it comes to tle, right? So the sun will be over here, right? Or it doesn't make a difference. The sun over here, or the moon is of the moon. Even without the sun, the moon, but we'll show with the sun, the moon, and the moon is over here. Now, when the sun goes down, where is the sun going down? By the equator, right? By the equator. Where is the moon where would the moon go down? Also, a lot in the north. So what happens when it goes down in the north? So look the red line. So the shkia will be lower. So because the shkia will be lower, so it takes from mazel tle to shakea longer than 2 hours. Huh? Mitzad Amazolas. We have to know. Mitzad Amazolas means we have to know each mazel. How long does it take? Right. Why do we have to know it? Because if there will be a moon and the sun, or the Oire Rishon in that mazel, so we know if it's a good mazel for us or not. Because it's mazel Mosnaim, like we said, it's not good for us. Because it's cooked and we're going to lose time. In tle, we're going to gain time, even though he's cooked. So because of cooked, he should lose. But because he has also the note, so he's overpowering the cooked and it takes longer. And the Rambam will tell you on each mazel how long it will take.
And take this by 270 because it's parallel.
Oh, good. Oh, but no, here it's
By Thomas, whatever.
no, but here the Rambam actually, okay. So let's work one at a time. So now, tle, the Rambam says ed. Let's say you had 12 degrees, right? the distance of the moon and the sun was 12 degrees. So how much does the Rambam tell you to add of it? Let's say that 12, right? The sun is, the moon is over here, right? The sun is over here, 12 degrees. The sun is shekar, the moon is shekar later. Oh, Moshiach is coming. I think your brother is better than you.
You can only follow it along.
Okay, so the Rambam said because it's in Mazel Tov and the moon is more to the north, so you can add a sixth. Yeah, six. What does the Rambam say? Remember? Yeah. Okay. So if you have 12, so you have a 6. How much is a 6? Add 2 more. So instead of 12, now we have 14. So in other words, we have 8 more minutes to observe the moon, right? Because each mile is 4 minutes. Wait, let me finish. Okay. Now, what's in Shoya? In Shoya? It's slant, and it's also more north. So the Rambam has add a 5th more. And over here, I think the Rambam in the Tohimim, the Rambam says add. No, I think the 6th. Again, the 6th. And the question is, what's going to be with this mazel? What is mazel? It has a chisor. What's the chisor? No, it's not straight. It's not straight.
It's aligned with the equator.
Yeah, no, but it goes a little. It goes a little to the dome. So it should be a loser. It should be a loser, right? Because the moon will be.
Because he's so far on the dome,
Oh, good. So now it should have, it's because it's more dome, we should deduct. So the Rabbi says, no, leave him alone. You don't have to do anything. Why? No? Explain.
When you're looking over there, so over here is higher than over there. Because over here.
It actually has nothing to do with where you live.
What else? I know, but look, yeah, because here, it would be straight, so then.
If it would be straight, what would be?
It would be exactly 2 hours. It would be straight this way.
No. Okay, so look over here. Look over here. You see over here? So we have over here, we set 30 degrees, right? 30 degrees. And we have over here 30 degrees. This 30 degrees, because it's away from the equator, because let's say from 30 degrees starts over here, right? But the 30 degrees becomes smaller, because the less area over here, the less it becomes shorter and shorter, narrower. So now over here, from here to here, it's 30 degrees. What this is where the moon and the sun are traveling. So now 30 degrees by the mazoles. The mazoles are more away from. So over here, 30 degrees over here. Look, I made it exaggerated, but it doesn't make a difference how much. As soon as it goes away, it becomes bigger. So you see over here, the 30 degrees. Take a look how much bigger than the 30 degrees of the equator. How 4 minutes per mile, let me say again, how we say that each mile is 4 minutes, which over here, right? But it corresponds to over here also, because it's all turning together. So, but this miles, and then you have, and this is the equator of the Galgal Yoibi. And this is the equator of the mazoles. So the equator of the mazoles are in the biggest shetach of it, and it's overlapping a narrow shetach from the from the equator. So B'meila, the 30 degrees over here are bigger, from the mazoles are bigger than the, so even though it will go to Dorem, but still has more, so one cancels the other, and the Rambam says, leave it alone. You don't have to fix it. You understand what I'm saying? Versteht? Oh, okay. It's very interesting, huh?
Ja, der Rambam hat noch gesagt, ein Wort früher. Das ist früher. Als der Rambam hat gesagt, dass wir bald das.
Red English.
The Rambam was explaining that you has it before that because it's going on. No, that has to do with the way you see it. No, I'm not saying say something. You mentioned before that when it's going to the Durham side, so you have from between 9 and 15, but that's because of the person that sees it.
No, but there, no, you're right.
That is up there.
The beginning, I said.
Right.
Oh, but then we
that
spoke.
has to do with the person looking.
No. It has nothing to do with the person looking over there. You're right. But over there, the Rambam, it doesn't bring it, the Rambam, but over there it's in general. But it doesn't explain it doesn't make a difference between, it goes a whole 6 and a whole 6 over there, right? The Rambam says, depends if it's for the mazolas that go from north to south, which you need at least 10, or the mazolas that go from the winter, from the south to the north, that we need, it's enough 9 and something. But in general, it doesn't go into mazel, the potis in detail. Here, now we are going into each mazel in detail and see what's happening with him. So this is ELIEZER Samaigel, Mitzad Amazoles. So, and now ist geblieben, was ist geblieben? Ist geblieben, Minas Goy Medina. As the last, so what's Minas Goy Medina? אל תחסום שוער בדישוי. אוקיי. אני אומר אל תחסום שוער, אני בעצם נולדתי באייר, זה בסדר.
המזל הנכון.
המזל הנכון. Okay, so yeah, so what means Minas Goy Medina? Minas Goy Medina means like this. Wherever you live, right? Wherever you live in America, New York, so the length of the summer day, it depends where you live. In New York, but somebody lives in the equator, let's say, so there is no difference between the whole year around. So there'll be a 12-hour day, 12-hour night. It's no different between day and day. If you live in New York, let's say, so it could be a different, the longest day could be an hour and a half, like 7:30, or an hour and a half, I think, about, so the length of the day would be 7:14, 15 hours. In Israel, no? In Israel, it's 1 hour, because we are natural, in New York is 40 degrees north. Israel is only 32. Yeah, so the biggest day in Israel is not 6, 7 hours, right? When will be a 7-hour day? When the sun will be all the way in the north, right? So that means when our summer is. So then will be the longest day. How many degrees is the most the sun can go to the north? Yeah? Yeah? Huh? Yeah. No, how much? Yeah, it is? So how much if the sun goes the most to the north?
23.
Oh, good, okay. So 23.5, and how long this 23.5 miles, how much does it length in the day? 1 hour. So now let's calculate and see each degree, how much does it add to the time of the day? No, so no. Huh? Yeah, it's about 2.8, 2.8 minutes every mile that the sun goes to the north. Yeah? So how much is it 3 times that?
3 times what? 23.
3 miles
3 miles
is about 8 minutes. Okay? Remember, 3 miles, 8 minutes. Now, in other words, 8 minutes, the day will be longer. Now we're talking about, it's called Roichav, right? Because we're talking about the sun goes to the north, so it's Roichav. Now, Oirich means when it goes down away, down in to the Shkia, west. How long does it take for 2 miles to go down in Mairi? 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Okay, so let's go back a minute. So if you have 3 Roichav, how many will give you, how many miles he will give you Ma'ariv? 2. 3 gives you 2, right? We said that 3 miles of Roichav, if it goes away to the north 3 miles, it will give you 8 minutes for the length of the day. So in other words, what means 8 minutes? It's like in Oirech, 2 minutes, because 2 miles go down in 8 minutes. So you take 2 tilts, right? 2 tilts of the Roichav will give you the Oirech. Yeah. So now we know that the moon is a Roichav. The moon can be 5 degrees this way or 5 degrees this way, right? So now when it's 5 degrees soften from the mazolas, let's say not 5, make a simple number, 3 degrees. If the moon is 3 degrees in Roichav Tzfoini, how much will it add you? How many minutes will it add you for the moon to be on before it goes down the horizon? Huh? 8 minutes. What means 8 minutes? 2 miles. Again, 2 miles. So these 2 miles, you have to add it to what you had before. You had a Rishon, a Shade, a Shlishi. So you add these 2 miles to what you had, the calculation brought you to. Now that's Roichav Tzfoini. If it will be Roichav Droimi, you'll take away 2 miles. Now, we explained before that actually the Roichav doesn't go straight down like with the equator. It goes something up, something down. You remember? We said that the Roichav, it goes at 90-degree angle from the mazolas. So because of 90-degree angle, so it can go up here or down here. So how could we make it a normal Roichav of 2 out of 3? So, oh, good. Was sollte getan werden? So this we fixed already. That was an ELIEZER Samigel. When we talked about the ELIEZER Samigel, we already fixed that the problem that it goes up or down. So this is already good. So now after we fix the going up or down, So now we can go a straight line, a 90-degree angle from the equator, and that will add us 2/3 of the Roichav. And that's called Menas Goiva Medina, because 2/3 of the Roichav, to give it to the Oirech, to the length, is only in Israel. In New York, it'll be more than 2/3. כבר, אני כבר מסיים. אתה עוד לא קיבלתי את הצ'ונט, אני אראה את הצ'ונט, אז נראה. אני לא סומך על הראייה. אני לא סומך על הראייה. Okay, so what do we have now? We have in order to see the moon, we need two things. First of all, we have to have, the Eure Rishon, which means, Eure Rishon means that the moon should be far away enough from the sun. It should be a good chunk of light on the moon, right? And then after and that's what the minimum the Rambam said, it has to be at least a little bit over 9 degrees. And on top of that, we have to know the Keshes Hariyeh, which means how long in time will take for the moon to go down after the sun. It's like you say over here, sometimes we shorten the miles, sometimes we extend it. So the Rambam says like this. It has to be altogether 24 degrees. What has to be 24 degrees? The Eure Rishon, together with Keshes Hariyeh means after the calculations with the up and will stand and they take off and give. So the Keshes Hariyeh is the bottom line after calculations. So the bottom line after the calculations, we added to the Eure Rishon, and if it's together 24, then the Rambam said we're going to be able to see the moon. So it's like this. If the Eure Rishon was, let's say 9, a little bit over 9, and no, I think it's not 24. I think it says how is it? 24. I said 9 and 22 maybe. Take a look at the Rambam. Know what to say. Nobody has a Rambam over here. Wait. 9 and 13. Huh? Rambam. Oh, כן. אני אסתכל רגע לפני שאני עושה טעות.
כל פעם לפני שאתה טועה אתה מסתכל?
אתה שמעת קודם, מה אתה עושה טעות?
חבר'ה, take chocolate, please. מוכרי, take chocolate. קום מספר.
מה זה קישקי?
לא רוצה קישקי?
אני ככה, מה זה קישקי?
זה פעם שקישקי.
Yeah, it's 22. So we need together it should be 22. And 9, and by this 22, the Rambam says we'll be able to see the moon. So that Rambam called Kitzei or Iya. Kitz means the end of the time that the timelines, whatever you call it, of being to see. Huh? Yeah. So now, so again, if the first Eure Rishon was 13, right? So it's a big dose, a big moon will be. But if it will take less than 9 or less than 9 to go down in Keshes Hariyeh, so we won't be able to see the moon that night. Okay? So like we said before. So it has to be together. If the Eure Rishon is big, then the Keshes Ariyah can be small. In other words, if the moon is 13 degrees, so even the Keshes Ariyah will be only a little bit over 9, which is a short time. But because the moon is big, because it's certain degrees away from the sun, so you'll be able to see it even it's a short time to go down. But if the moon is only 9, or a little bit over 9 away from the sun, which is a small moon, and because it's a small moon, we need at least 13 degrees, Keshes Ariyah, which 13 means like 4 times 13 is 52. Then we need 52 minutes for them. After the moon should go down at least 52 minutes after the sun. So after 52 minutes, so it'll be dark enough to see even the small moon. Okay, so we finished this era.
Okay,
Rambam.